Thanks for describing the beautiful campus of your school. Tell me about your family.
Okay, first I have a sister who's deaf, and then I have my parents. My mom's name is Becky, and my dad's name is Rick. I have two grandparents that live pretty close to me. My grandparents are both hearing, and as well as my parents. My sister and I were the only two deaf out of the whole family. I have one grandfather who is in Underwood. He became pretty sick a little while ago, but now he's better.
It must be cool to have a deaf sister. You two probably have a great time together. What about pets?
Yeah, I have one dog. His fur is tan, and he's got really long ears. He knows so many tricks. He knows how to dance, he knows how to stand, and really whatever you tell him to do, he will do. Well, my parents trained them. First, they used food to help teach him how to do the tricks, but now, without food, he'll do the tricks for you if you tell him.
I'd love to see those tricks. He sounds really cute. How old is your dog?
He's 8.
He's been a special member of the family for a long time, huh? I must tell you, we probably have something in common because people always tell me that I look exactly like my mother. You hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, now I know how it feels when they say, "You look like your mom, you look like your mom." I want to tell people, no, people tell me that all the time, but I just have to be patient and tolerate it and just go on with life. And it's kind of bothering at first, but you get used to it. Like, everybody comes up and tells you all the time you're like your parents, and so once you hear it for a while, you just kind of have to tolerate it and get used to it and always say thank you and be polite, even though you just want to say, I know, people tell me that all the time. I know it means I'm pretty, but it's still kind of bothersome at times.
I understand 100%. At least we dress differently than our mothers, right? What styles of clothing do you like?
I like clothes, well, I'm used to clothes that are pretty big. I like the clothes that are big on me and comfortable and, like gym clothes. I got really used to those, and I don't really like wearing dresses. I just tolerate it and go along with it whenever I have to.
When do you have to dress up?
Like prom, sometimes at different school events like that, and I just have to tolerate it and go with it.
What did your prom dress look like?
It was green, it had short sleeves and went all the way down to my ankles.
Wow, it sounds pretty. Did you like it?
I liked it, but I was really excited to get out of it after prom.
What was prom like?
Well, my boyfriend went with me to prom. First, we went to go eat, and then we went to prom and we danced. And then, when that was finished, we went bowling. And once bowling was done, we went back home. At dinner, we had steaks and potatoes. It was a really nice dinner.
You planned to order steak? What did you end up ordering instead?
It was a nice dinner because you could get steaks and potatoes, but I ended up getting spaghetti with meatballs.
Spaghetti, huh? Do you ever cook spaghetti yourself?
No. I will burn it.
We burn it. Do you cook anything?
Yeah, I can cook some things, and I can bake and stuff like that. Just simple things.
How do you cook noodles?
Noodles is simple. So first, you have the water and you have to boil it. So you pour all the water in, you have to wait, and once it's finally boiling and it's finished, you have to then put in flour and make it into the shape of the noodles, and then you cook the noodles, and when all that's finished, you can eat it.
What about a microwave? Isn't that pretty easy to use?
Most of the time, yes, a microwave can work, but you have to pay a lot of attention to it to know when it's done. I can't pay attention. By the time I start to cook things, I walk around and do something, and by the time I get back to the food, it's already cold, and I want my food warm.
Yeah, that's happened to me before too. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
I like to talk a lot, especially with my friends. I also like to read and play basketball and play different games with my friends. It's pretty fun. When I go with my friends, sometimes we go skiing, sometimes we go skating, and then we come to my house and we just hang out and chat, and sometimes we'll go to the stores and shop.
Do you prefer to chat in person or by TTY?
With the TTY, it's just a typing machine. You can't show your expressions or your emotions. But when you talk face to face with friends, you can interact and communicate. And so I like direct conversations better myself.
I understand what you mean. You mentioned scary movies. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, there's this one movie. It's my favorite. I can't really remember the name of it. It's something, but it's really funny to watch, and it's scary, but I like it because it's about vampires and that go around trying to bite people, and whenever they bite themselves, they become vampires. And you have good ones and bad ones, and I don't know. I just like movies about vampires, apparently.
That movie was really scary. You mentioned basketball. Tell me about your team.
My basketball team is in my school for the deaf. I like to play with my teammates. We won last year 6 games, I believe, and we lost only a few games, not that much.
Have you been playing basketball for a long time?
Yeah, I've been playing ever since I was about 6 or 7. I've just continued practicing, and now I'm a senior playing.
At school, what's your favorite class?
I think it'd be science. I think science is my favorite because you can relate it to different aspects of life, like animals, and the list can just go on and on. In the future, I hope to be a vet. That kind of links with science, and I think that's why I like it so much. I love working with animals. That's why I have my pet. It's very fun to work with him.
In biology, have you dissected an animal?
No, not yet. We worked with different parts of animals and looked at them and compared and contrasted the different organs and animal cells, but actually dissecting an animal, we haven't done that yet.
What about chemistry?
It's interesting, but it's hard to understand. It's like a lot of information with different meanings, and it's just hard for me to understand.
Scientists are doing so much research. Suppose they discovered a way to cure deafness. Would you want to be cured?
No, I would continue being deaf. Sign language is so pretty. When you're talking, it's just boring. I would continue being deaf and signing.
Many people feel the same way. Many problems face Americans today. What do you see as a major problem?
There's a whole lot of problems right now with different kind of drugs. People are just clueless about them, and the different drugs, they can create a lot of issues. You can even die from them, and the drugs can influence your body in different ways. They can influence your blood vessels, make them very thin, which means the blood can't go through and your heart has to work twice as hard, and it can create a heart attack and you can die.
Is there another serious problem you'd like to discuss? Can you suggest a solution?
I think that it needs to be dissolved. I think that we can help them, put them in homes and try to help them and analyze what's really going on, look at their body and see the damage done, get them better and get them away from drugs, away from alcohol, and stop whatever problem and addiction they're dealing with, and put them in a place where they can get a job and get a home and just stay with them and make sure they're having a better life and improving themselves as individuals. That way later in the future, it could just become an amazing program for people.
Have you seen homeless people in your neighborhood?
I don't really know of a homeless person, but one time there was this guy walking throughout our neighborhood with a buggy or a shopping cart and just there had a bunch of different kind of things in there, and I was just kind of puzzled. Like I've never really seen it before. And usually homeless people, their clothes are old and poor looking, but his clothes were nice, and so I didn't really understand. But his clothes were too big for him, so he had a belt trying to keep him on, and you could tell the shoes were too big because he was just flopping around, and it just kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
Can we help homeless people? What can they do?
We can help them find a place. We can make a special place for them to go to help them and help them just establish life, and then you can once they progress in life and establish themselves, they can go out and find a house for themselves, even if it takes 2 or 3 years later.
Some people have a strong influence on our lives. They become role models for us. Do you have a role model?
Yeah, I have this one role model. She's a great role model for me because around 6th, 7th grade, she helped me learn English and understand the importance of it, and I learned a lot from her, and so she's my role model.
I'm sure your teacher would feel honored to know she was your role model. Wow! Has some special event made you feel especially proud?
I've had many proud moments. But there was this one time last year I was giving a presentation and I ended up being the top 5, and I'm still pretty proud of that. I'm still proud of myself for it.
Congratulations on the honor. What was your topic?
I can't really remember, but it was something about the having a positive life. I don't remember. It was last year.
For this year, with the topic of optimism, what will be the points of your speech?
I'm going to talk about different aspects of life, like your family, the importance of it, about the different environments and how you present yourself to other people, like having a simple smile on your face when you meet somebody.
You do smile a lot, so your speech should be very convincing. Thanks for talking with me today. It's been a pleasure.